The silence that followed her words was deafening. Emma stood there, heart pounding, watching as David's expression shifted from surprise to something unreadable. She had just laid her deepest truth bare, and now the world seemed to hang suspended between them. Would he walk away like all the others? Or would this time be different? If you're feeling moved by this story already, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt stories that explore the complicated beauty of modern families and unconventional love. Emma Walsh never planned to fall in love with a family. At 34, she had made peace with her decision to remain single, convinced that her medical condition made her unworthy of romantic partnership. But life had other plans when she moved into apartment 4B and met the Morgan family. The first time she encountered 5-year-old Lily Morgan was on moving day. Emma had been struggling with a particularly heavy box when a small voice piped up from the hallway. "Do you need help? My daddy says we should always help neighbors." Emma turned to find a tiny girl with unruly auburn curls and a missing front tooth, wearing mismatched socks and a determined expression. "That's very kind of you," Emma replied, setting down the box. "But I think this one might be too heavy for you." "I'm stronger than I look," Lily insisted, puffing out her chest. "Daddy says I'm the strongest 5-year-old in the whole building." "Is that so?" Emma couldn't help but smile. "And where is your daddy?" "He's making dinner." "He's not very good at it." Lily wrinkled her nose. "He burns things a lot since Mommy went to heaven." Emma felt her heart constrict. "I'm sorry about your mom." Lily shrugged with the resilience only children possess. "It's okay. Daddy says she's watching us from the stars now." "I'm Lily, by the way. We live in 4A. I'm Emma. I guess we're going to be neighbors." "Cool. Do you like macaroni and cheese?" "Because that's what Daddy's making, and he always makes too much." Before Emma could respond, a deep voice called from down the hall. "Lily? Where did you wander off to?" "I'm helping our new neighbor." Lily shouted back, far louder than necessary in the narrow hallway. That was how Emma met David Morgan, disheveled, wearing an apron with cartoon dinosaurs, flowers somehow smudged across his forehead, and looking simultaneously exhausted and alert in the way only single parents can manage. "I'm so sorry if she's bothering you," he said, extending a hand. "I'm David. The less chaotic Morgan." Emma took his hand, noting the warmth of his palm against hers. "Emma Walsh. And she's not bothering me at all." "Daddy, I invited her for macaroni," Lily announced proudly. David's eyes widened slightly. "Oh, I'm sure Ms. Walsh has her own dinner plans." Actually, Emma surprised herself by saying, "Macaroni sounds perfect. I haven't unpacked my kitchen yet." That first dinner was awkward but endearing. Emma learned that David was an architect who now worked primarily from home to care for Lily and her 8-year-old brother, Ben, who had remained suspiciously quiet throughout the meal, studying Emma with serious eyes that seemed too old for his face. Over the following weeks, Emma found herself increasingly entangled in the Morgans' lives. It started with small things, helping Lily with a stubborn zipper when David was on an important call, or picking up Ben from school when David's meeting ran late. Emma, who worked as a children's librarian, found herself sharing book recommendations with Ben, who turned out to be a voracious reader once he warmed up to her. "You know a lot about books," Ben observed one afternoon as they walked home from school. "It's my job to know about books," Emma replied. "My mom knew a lot about books too," Ben said quietly. "Dad tries, but he doesn't do the voices right when he reads." Emma felt that familiar ache in her chest. "Would you like me to do the voices sometime?" Ben considered this seriously before nodding. "I think that would be okay." That evening became the first of many reading nights, where Emma would sit on the worn couch in apartment 4A, with Lily curled against one side and Ben leaning slightly against the other as she read from chapter books, doing all the voices with theatrical flair. David would watch from the kitchen doorway, a soft expression on his face that Emma tried not to notice. She told herself she was just being a good neighbor, a friend. Nothing more could come of it. Because Emma harbored a secret that had ended every potential relationship in her adult life. At 25, she had undergone an emergency hysterectomy following complications from endometriosis. The surgery had saved her life but had taken with it any possibility of bearing children. Her last serious boyfriend had ended their relationship with the devastating words, "I want my own children someday." Real ones. Those words had carved themselves into Emma's heart, convincing her that no man would want a woman who couldn't fulfill what she believed was a fundamental desire, to create a family together. So Emma maintained careful boundaries with David, even as she fell hopelessly in love with his children. She became Auntie Emma, the neighbor who baked cookies shaped like dinosaurs for Ben's science project, who taught Lily how to braid her own hair, who created elaborate scavenger hunts throughout the apartment building on rainy Saturdays. David noticed. Of course he did. "You're amazing with them," he said one evening after the children had gone to bed. Emma had stayed late to help with a school project, and they were sharing a glass of wine at his kitchen table. "I don't know what we'd do without you." Emma smiled, ignoring the flutter in her chest. "They make it easy. They're wonderful kids." They weren't always, David admitted, running a hand through his perpetually disheveled hair. After Caroline died, Ben stopped talking altogether for almost 3 months. And Lily had these terrible nightmares. He stared into his wine glass. "But they're different with you. Happier. Children are resilient," Emma said softly. "You've done an incredible job with them, David." He looked up, his eyes meeting hers with an intensity that made her breath catch. "We've done an incredible job. You're part of this family now, Emma. You must know that." Emma set down her wine glass carefully. "David. I know you've been keeping me at arm's length," he continued. "And I've respected that. But I need to be honest with you." He took a deep breath. "I'm falling in love with you, Emma. I think I have been since that first night you ate my terrible macaroni and cheese and somehow managed to compliment it convincingly." Emma felt panic rising in her throat. This wasn't supposed to happen. She'd been so careful. "David, you don't understand." "I can't." "If you don't feel the same way, I understand," he said quickly. "I value your friendship too much to risk losing it. But I needed you to know." "It's not that," Emma whispered, tears threatening. "I do have feelings for you. But I can't give you what you deserve." David's brow furrowed. "What I deserve? Emma, all I want is you. You say that now, but eventually you'll want more children. A complete family." "We are a complete family," David insisted. "Me, Ben, Lily, and you, if you want to be part of it." Emma stood abruptly, needing space. "You don't understand. I can't have children, David. I had a hysterectomy years ago. I can never give you a baby." She expected to see disappointment cross his face, the beginning of the end as it had been with others. Instead, David looked confused. "Emma, I have 2 children who already adore you. Why would I be focused on hypothetical babies?" "Because that's what men want," Emma said, the words bitter on her tongue. "A woman who can give them their own children." David stood then, moving slowly toward her as if approaching a frightened animal. "Is that what someone told you? That you're somehow less valuable as a woman because you can't bear children?" Emma couldn't speak past the lump in her throat, so she simply nodded. "Then they were an idiot," David said firmly. "And completely wrong." He reached for her hands, and after a moment's hesitation, she let him take them. "Emma, I fell in love with you because of who you are, your kindness, your humor, the way you remember that Ben likes the crusts cut off his sandwiches, how you never rush Lily when she's telling one of her endless stories." His thumbs traced circles on her palms. "I'm not looking for someone to give me more children. I'm looking for someone to love the children I already have." And you do that so beautifully it takes my breath away. Emma felt tears spilling down her cheeks. But what if you change your mind? What if years from now, you resent me for not being able to? That won't happen, David interrupted gently. But if it makes you feel better, we can talk about adoption someday, if we decide we want to expand our family. There are many ways to build a family, Emma. The most important part is love, and we have plenty of that. Emma looked into his eyes, searching for any hint of insincerity, but found only warmth and certainty. I'm scared, she admitted. So am I, David confessed with a small smile. Being a single dad was never in my life plan. Falling in love with my neighbor wasn't either. But here we are. Emma took a deep breath. I need you to understand something. I've spent years believing I'm not fit to be anyone's partner because of this. It's not something I can just get over in one conversation. I don't expect you to, David said. I'm just asking for a chance. For us to try, together. Emma hesitated, years of insecurity warring with the hope blooming in her chest. I can't promise I won't have doubts. I can't promise I won't burn dinner at least once a week, David countered with a gentle smile. We'll figure it out as we go. That's what families do. The word family hung in the air between them, full of possibility. I should go, Emma said finally. I need to think. David nodded, releasing her hands reluctantly. Take all the time you need. We'll be here. Emma spent a sleepless night pacing her apartment, her mind racing with fears and hopes in equal measure. By morning, she had made her decision. She knocked on the Morgans' door just as they were preparing for school. David opened it, surprise and hope flickering across his face. Emma. I need to talk to Ben and Lily first, she said quietly. David nodded, stepping aside to let her in. The children looked up from the breakfast table, their faces lighting up at the sight of her. Auntie Emma. Lily exclaimed. Do you want some cereal? Daddy put bananas in mine. Not right now, sweetheart, Emma said, sitting down at the table. I wanted to talk to you both about something important. Ben set down his spoon, instantly alert. Are you moving away? He asked, fear evident in his voice. No, Emma assured him quickly. Nothing like that. Actually, I was wondering how you would feel if I spent more time here. A lot more time. Like a sleepover? Lily asked excitedly. Emma glanced at David, who was watching from the doorway, before turning back to the children. Sort of. You see, your dad and I care about each other very much. And I care about both of you too. Do you love Daddy? Ben asked directly, his perceptive eyes missing nothing. Emma took a deep breath. Yes, I do. And do you love us? Lily chimed in. With all my heart, Emma answered without hesitation. Ben and Lily exchanged a look, seeming to communicate silently in the way siblings sometimes can. So you'd be like our new mom? Ben asked cautiously. Emma felt her heart constrict. I would never try to replace your mom, Ben. No one could do that. But I would love to be another person in your life who cares for you, who's always there for you. Ben considered this seriously. Would you still do the voices when you read? Emma smiled, tears threatening. Always. And would you teach me how to make those cookies with the chocolate inside? Lily asked. Anytime you want. Ben looked at his sister again, then back at Emma. I think that would be okay then. Lily was less reserved. Can you move in today? You can have the room next to mine. Emma laughed, relief washing over her. We'd need to take things a bit slower than that. She looked up to find David watching them, his eyes suspiciously bright. He crossed the room to join them at the table, taking the seat beside Emma. So, he said softly. What's the verdict? Emma turned to face him fully. I'm still scared, she admitted. But I want this. I want us. David's smile was like sunrise breaking across his face. He reached for her hand under the table, squeezing it gently. Are you guys going to kiss now? Lily asked, wrinkling her nose. Not at the breakfast table, David assured her, though his eyes never left Emma's. Good, Ben declared. Because we're going to be late for school. And just like that, they shifted into their morning routine, but with Emma seamlessly incorporated as if she had always been part of it. As she helped Lily find her missing shoe and reminded Ben to pack his science homework, Emma felt something settle in her chest, a sense of belonging she had never expected to find. The journey wasn't always smooth. There were moments of doubt, nights when Emma would wake in a cold sweat, convinced that David would change his mind. There were awkward conversations with well-meaning relatives who asked insensitive questions about real children. There were days when Ben withdrew, missing his mother with an ache that no one could soothe. But there were also countless moments of joy, family game nights that dissolved into laughter, quiet evenings on the couch with David after the children were asleep, Lily's triumphant face the first time she rode a bike without training wheels, Ben shyly showing Emma the story he'd written for a school assignment about my family. 6 months after that morning at the breakfast table, David proposed on the rooftop of their apartment building, with Ben and Lily holding handmade signs that read, "Say yes." Emma did, through happy tears. They were married in a small ceremony in the city park, with Lily as the flower girl and Ben proudly carrying the rings. During the vows, David surprised Emma by adding a special promise. "I vow to remind you every day that our family is perfect exactly as it is." Later that evening, as they danced under strings of twinkling lights, Emma rested her head against David's shoulder and whispered, "I never thought I could have this." "Have what?" he asked, his arms tightening around her. Emma looked across the dance floor to where Ben was teaching Lily some complicated dance move, both of them laughing. "A complete family." David followed her gaze, his expression softening. "That's the thing about families," he said. "They're never really complete. They just keep growing in all the ways that matter." 1 year later, they welcomed a new addition, a 10-year-old girl named Maya, whose adoption process had been challenging but ultimately successful. Maya, who had been in foster care since she was 6, fit into their family with a few bumps but increasing smoothness, especially bonding with Ben over their shared love of astronomy. On the night they officially became Maya's legal parents, Emma found herself sitting on the edge of the girl's bed, smoothing her hair back from her forehead. "Are you happy here with us, Maya?" Emma asked softly. Maya nodded, her dark eyes serious. "I never thought anyone would want me," she admitted. "Because I'm older." Emma felt those words resonate deep within her soul. "I understand that feeling," she said. "But you know what I've learned? Sometimes the families we build ourselves are the strongest ones." "Like ours?" Maya asked. "Exactly like ours," Emma confirmed. Later, as she joined David in their bedroom, she found him looking at a family photo taken at Maya's adoption ceremony, the 5 of them, arms around each other, faces alight with joy. "What are you thinking?" Emma asked, sitting beside him. "I'm thinking about that night 3 years ago," David said, "when you told me you weren't fit for any man." Emma winced slightly at the memory. "I believed it then. And now?" She looked at the photograph, at the family they had created together. "Now I know better. I know that love isn't about what we can or can't do. It's about what we choose to give each other every day." David set the photo on the nightstand and pulled her close. "You know, Caroline and I always want